Hi guys, Sparks Witty here. I just want to give a quick intro for these videos. What you're about to watch is a excerpt from episodes 184 to 187 of our podcast. This was right when the shut-in for the quarantine happened here in California, and when that happened, we had to decide what to do with our topics for the podcast, and at that time what we decided to do was to just record the next 4 movie reviews: A Quiet Place Part 2, Mulan, New Mutants, and No Time to Die, as if we had seen them, and just say what the movie was in talking with each other. We didn't talk about it beforehand, as in we didn't plan what happened in the film. We just improvised it on the spot when we recorded and had to yes and each other. And this was our way of having some fun with what had just happened with all the movie delays. So if you're watching this, you are just watching those fake quarantine movie reviews. And I hope you enjoy it. And hopefully at some point it'll be fun to look back and see how many things maybe we guessed correctly or we're just sounding more interesting, we'll say. I hope you guys really enjoy this. I thought they were very funny. So here they are, the quarantine reviews.
Shall we get into our review then?
Oh, I'm so excited. Let's talk about this movie.
Do it.
All right. So as this last week, guys, seem to be the only people who have seen Mulan 2020.
2 weeks in a row. How are we the only people to see these movies?
I don't know.
I
don't know. So someone's got those Disney connections, and they're like, okay,
we're
here.
in LA too. Like people, guys, go to the movies. Like they're still open.
You know what it was? I think it's they knew we were interviewing Marc Guggenheim even before we saw A Quiet Place Part 2, and they're like, we have to get these guys in it. We know they're gonna have at least 27 articles written about them in the next 3 days. Can we please get these movies to them?
Through 9 websites.
Through 9 websites.
Yeah. But anyway, so full spoilers for Mulan 2020.
Yep.
Going forward, this is the latest from Disney's live action remakes. Let's go around the horn. What do we think about this? Initial thoughts? Sparks, you go first.
Yeah, I liked it. It was more or less what I expected. So I went in and I liked it. That's basically best I can give you.
Ryan.
If you guys have seen every other live action remake, then you know what you're getting yourself into. That being said, I'm more positive than negative, but like not a lot.
I'll go next. I felt it was much like Pete's Dragon. Was almost completely different than the source material. Well, not completely different. It was a breath of fresh air to not have to see the exact same story on screen.
I was going to say Pete's Dragon is probably arguably the best of the modern remakes, so I was going to say that's real high praise.
Yeah. No, I wouldn't say it's as good as Pete's Dragon, but for me, it might be up there. It's definitely one of my favorites, only because they tried to do something so drastically different.
It's very tonally different, which I really did appreciate.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Ben.
Hey, at least this one was like really fun and had a lot of fun action scenes. It wasn't like it definitely was. They tried. You could tell that they tried to be different from the animated film, but it's the animated film, just with a lot less Eddie Murphy.
Unfortunately, with these movies, you almost know what you're getting into every time. Yeah. And I was really hoping for more surprises in this one, and again, I like this movie, but I'm just you guys had so much opportunity.
Don't get me wrong. The choreography of all the fight scenes is
the fights are the best part. Yeah, I think the fights are the best part. This is the best Disney fight movie, maybe.
Yeah.
What other big Disney movies besides Star Wars have big action scenes? This is
Avengers? I thought it was the Marvel movies.
Hey guys, Mulan sucks.
I mean, you can tell they tried to make this into somewhat a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon source deal with the crazy fight scenes. Like when you saw the first scene in the movie where essentially Shang Tsung is attacking the Great Wall and he's trying to it's shot for shot, but it's a little stretched out with cooler fight scenes. But that line with that one actor who goes now all of China knows you're here and goes, good.
They leaned into the mysticism a little too hard in this movie, which was my biggest fear from the get-go. And because I feel like they couldn't, again, this was my big fear. They couldn't just rely on it being a war movie. They had to make it oh, we can't have the talking dragon, but we're gonna have a witch who transforms into multiple animals. Like, dude, come on.
We're gonna have like a crazy dream sequence with the Emperor and the Phoenix, and Mulan's watching the Phoenix fly through.
The whole thing about the witch. I mean, I agree with them. It's like, if you're not going to do Mushu justice, like, look, we had the same thing with Aladdin. Like, if you're not going to do Genie justice, don't do Genie. But you have to do Genie with Aladdin. You don't have to do Mushu with Mulan. Yeah. So you can easily take Mulan. You can easily take Mushu out of Mulan a lot easier than you can with the Genie. With Genie, it works for me. Will Smith is great as the Genie, and he does his own. If you're not going to be able to do the same, find someone who pays tribute to Eddie Murphy while also making it his own. If you're not going to do that, don't do it. You can easily take it out.
Did you guys like the? I guess you call it a cameo of like a guy who was like wearing like dragon pajamas and he was kind of goofy for like I thought that was cute in like a way of like, oh look, that guy's like that's Mushu, but like he's not.
Yeah, it's a nice reference. It's a nice reference.
And then the other side of the street, you see the guy wearing purple ones like the cricket.
Okay, but what I thought was on the nose was how frequently, because I think it's literally 6 times where Mulan's having a moment, and then she looks over and there happens to be a stone dragon.
I will say like the first 2 or 3 times I'm like, that's cute, but then there was one specific like zoom in, I'm like, okay, Mulan.
Where like went out of its way to like prioritize it in the frame.
Like a Sam Raimi like zoom in. I'm like,
yeah.
Okay, we know. We get it.
There's a stone dragon there. Oh my gosh.
You know what it is? I think they're trying to play off that like thing that ran around on the internet for a while where they said, well, the stone dragon was Mulan the whole time. No, that's a thing because it's a reasonable argument in the animated film where like the framing composition actually illustrates that in all the hardest moments that she makes, there are references visually to the stone dragon statue.
Okay,
and I'm like, okay, I get it. Okay, cool. To say that she's the one who's protecting the family and that the spirit of the stone dragon actually the reason that the statue crumbled and everything is because the spirit went with Mulan. And was not Mushu. And that's a reasonable argument, but I think they went too hard on the nose in the live action.
I'd agree with that.
Although, so the montage scene, I knew we weren't going to get any singing, but I did like how they took the music from Make a Man Out of You into the montage scene. That was a good reference without actually
the musical cues, reflections, Make a Man Out of You, like they weave the orchestral versions of those songs so well into the music.
Well, and I think it's still cool that we got Jackie Chan in the chorus doing the Mandarin version of it.
That was cool. I appreciated the shit about that.
Did they say that in the credits?
Yeah, because he did it for the animated one too, and so he did it for this.
I didn't know that. They didn't. I didn't.
So for those of you who don't know, Jackie Chan's a really popular pop singer in China, and he was the voice of General Chang in the Chinese cuts of Mulan, and he does the voice of Make a Man Out of You.
He went back and sang "I'll Make a Man Out of You" for I don't know. Obviously, it wasn't for the main cut of the movie, but it was definitely for like the end credit sort of thing.
You know what?
You hear his chorus of him doing Mandarin in the montage. Just the chorus.
Yeah. I was talking about the original animated film.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
He's got a good voice.
But for this one, hearing him sing in the chorus, I was like, oh.
I didn't know.
I recently watched The Mask of Zorro, and The Mask of Zorro has something which I miss in movies, which is the pop songs, set to the theme songs at the end of the movie. I think that song's awesome. In this movie, if they wanted to do Donny Osmond and Jackie Chan duo in the credits, I wouldn't have been opposed, but they chose not to.
I'm a little bit country, and I'm a little bit Mandarin.
I really missed the Yao King of the Rock moment.
I
didn't expect him to do it in live action, but it's a good beat.
So here's the thing, like I didn't even think about it. I think the absence of it doesn't bother me because I didn't really think about it because I think the structure of the movie still works without it. It would have been cool, but like I don't think it's necessary.
I'd agree with you if they didn't do the nod to her bathing in the lake, coming out and then saying, I don't want to see a naked man again, and then tons of live action naked butts run past the screen. If we're gonna get that, why can't we get Yao King of the Rock?
Sure.
Well, and that moment does kind of take the tone away from what they're trying to go for. I will wholeheartedly agree with that. I personally, if we're talking about things I missed Mushu on the panda.
So now you want Mushu? Now you want Mushu?
I don't. I just miss it.
Yeah, sure.
But like I've always said, if you're going to do these remakes, do something different. Don't do the same thing.
All right. So we need to talk about, go ahead, Ben.
Oh no, because I was gonna say one thing I did like, because you know how in the remember the anime movie where the three guys Yao, Chen, and oh god, I forget. Genpo and the guys who eventually like make fun of Mulan at first, but they all become best friends at the end of the movie, and they all cross dress and they sneak inside the Imperial Castle.
Yeah,
the way they did that scene in this one, I thought was really freaking hilarious.
It's really funny,
especially like when Yao is like when you see Yao and he's all like buff and like but you like he's turned effeminate. He's walking about. He's like the hottest of the three, and then that one Mongolian warrior is trying to hit on him, and then he just like punches him straight out.
I think the trailer misjudged the tone of this one. This movie's funny.
It's really odd because it presents itself as like a war movie, but it has like a comedic undertone almost all the way through it, but it feels like a serious movie. So it's like, I find the tone like 80% of the time works. Like I thought like, yeah, the like when all of them are cross-dressing going into there, I thought that's really funny, but there's also scenes where stuff like that's happening outside and I don't think it fits the scene that it's in.
I mean, they tried to blend a Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon style action war movie with a Disney animated comedy, and I think for the most part they do find a happy medium, but sometimes they tip one way or the other too far.
For sure.
Oh, sorry, it crossed my mind. Did you guys catch the Easter eggs when the witch and I know his name is not really Shang Tsung, but essentially Shang Tsung are in the tent.
Challenge?
Oh, you mean do you mean the guy who's supposed to be Shan Yu?
Yeah, why am I calling him Shake? Oh wait, I just.
His name in this one is Bori Khan.
Yeah, he's a Khan.
Yeah, okay. When you see the Khan and the witch, and they're looking at maps, and one of the maps, there's like two separate maps. Like they're like, I will control all the world. One has Agrabah, but if I noticed it, I can't believe I noticed it. But there's another map that has the Beast's castle.
Look, I didn't like it because I felt like that bit was done better in Aladdin.
Yeah,
that's something I want to bring up about. Oh, my finger looks funny doing that. So when we reviewed Aladdin, I think we all agreed that the main character Aladdin wasn't like the best part of the movie. He was kind of almost like left behind a little bit. Do you guys feel that way about Mulan in this? Like, I don't think it's that severe, but I don't think so. Like I thought the other characters had better dialogue and. It's weird. I feel the same thing about Aladdin.
I think her dialogue is stilted, but her acting is good.
Okay,
I think she carries the film fine.
Okay.
I don't blame her for the dialogue feeling stiff.
Yeah.
Like, what she gets into, how'd you guys feel that?
Mulan very fundamentally is a straight man. Sorry, Mulan very fundamentally is a straight man.
Yes,
essentially. Like that's the thing is that like in the anime one it works because there's Mushu for comedy.
Yes,
and she's straight man to that. She has no comedic companion in this other than the trio.
Yeah,
but that doesn't really balance the same.
And they're
because
not in
she
it
does
the whole
so much
time.
solo action on her own. So she's just straight.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry,
go ahead. How'd you guys feel about the change to Mulan's character, about her wanting to learn how to fight, but not like so? In the original one, she doesn't know how to fight at all, and then she joins the army, and she's bumbling. Whereas this one, she's like, oh no, she could fight. How'd you guys?
Oh yeah, she was like born to fight.
Yeah, I mean, how'd you guys feel about that?
So I do think it's not done well, but there is a talk that she has with her father about like, oh, I tried to train you when you were young, but you weren't ready. So, but it's like almost like a throwaway line where I'm like, that's an important line.
Yeah,
it's like she's supposed to know how to fight.
It's kind of a similar change to Beauty and the Beast changing Belle to be the one who likes science.
Yeah.
Like you're giving these characters. What you think you're doing is servicing what should be a quote-unquote strong female character, but you really just take something away from the narrative of the movie.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily disagree with the choice, but I can see it gets a little haphazard.
Yeah. I didn't realize how much I liked Shan Yu in the anime one till I saw this, and I'm like, this guy, Jason Scott Lee's not doing a bad job, but he doesn't carry the gravitas and weight that Shan Yu did.
Wow,
Shan
it sounds like
scary.
You know what this sounds like? Jafar.
Jafar, I know, but I don't think he was doing as bad a job. Like, I don't think he was bad in the role. I don't think the role was given the opportunity to carry the weight of fear that Shan Yu had whenever he appeared on screen. He looked scary, and they took that away to give those elements to the witch, and I didn't like that.
I agree. They kind of make the witch almost like the main bad guy, and he's like the final boss, but he's not in the movie enough to feel like a final boss.
The witch is the one who's pulling the strings.
Yeah, but
he's-
I did not need the 6.5 minute fight between Bori Khan and Jet Li. I did not need it because I know Jet Li's the Emperor, and that's nice as a cameo, but we didn't need him to fight.
I will say the first like half of the fight's cool, but then they bust out the doors and they continue to fight. I'm like, oh no, this scene should have ended.
It's just,
That's true.
It felt like the I feel like people exaggerate when they talk about Yoda in Attack of the Clones and he starts fighting.
Yeah.
How dramatic of a shift that is. This felt like that exaggeration, where he's the Emperor and he's presented as this elder man, and then he's doing crazy.
Oh, he's like
crouching
jumping.
tiger.
Yeah, he's like jumping
too
between
much,
panels.
too much, because the plot hinges on Mulan being able to go and defend the Emperor, and the Emperor can defend himself.
He's the boss.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like it's like, I mean, we do get some good dialogue scenes where he's like, bow to me, and the Emperor is just like dropping those classic animated lines of like, I'm not going to move, or no matter how hard the wind,
no matter how much the wind howls, the mountain will not bow.
That's a good delivery. I think it's
stuff like that. And then when he finally when Shan Yu finally just has enough to swings his sword, and he ducks, and he's like, okay, let's do this. And that, like, the first half of that fight scene, I'm like, yeah, kick his ass. And then it's like, can we stop?
I mean,
when
it's
they
like
finally...
watching watching Jet Li and Jackie Chan fight in the Forbidden Kingdom. Like it's there for fan service, but it overstays its welcome.
Yes.
At a point.
Yes.
I still don't know how I feel about the what is his name in the anime movie?
I should have rewatched it.
The romance interest in Mulan originally is Shang, right?
Yes.
Shang.
Okay, Li Shang. Okay, the fact that they cut his character in half between being the commander and then also being a love interest character was weird. And I don't know.
I thought they were going to get rid of the love interest character altogether, and I honestly would have preferred
But they didn't. But they didn't. I'm going to look up the names again.
Yeah.
I forget. It's so Chen is the recruit that is Mulan's love interest.
Yeah.
And then it's Commander Tung for the commander, and they're both Li Shang's roles essentially split in two, and they both have their characters halved because
I will be honest, I think the love triangle aspect is my least favorite part of the movie, because it's even in the movie enough to be really explored, but it's like, hey, we have to have it. That was kind of in the original movie, right? I'm like, I guess, like, don't even put the romance in if you're not going to really do it.
Well, the thing is, I thought Mulan, the animated one, did the romance perfect because it wasn't at all the focal point. Yes, she was attracted to him. Yes, that was a factor of their chemistry with each other, but it was not the focus.
Yes. So I guess I don't want it more in the movie because I didn't like it that much. So yeah, okay, that works.
I would have liked it better if they took away the romance in the movie. I
Yeah.
feel like they should have.
Just having Mulan, like, obviously when Mulan is revealed that she was a woman the whole time, and then being all like, we have to follow the law, but you are a kick-ass fighter, we don't want to lose you, but we have to follow the laws anyway. And then when she comes back and helps them fight, if they didn't throw the love interest in it, but like, we have a mutual respect for her, and they like give her a post in the Imperial Army, I would have been fine with that. But it's like, oh no, we get do you want to stay for dinner? Do you want to stay forever? It's like, can we not?
It also makes Chen seem dumb because he spends so many intimate moments with Mulan that at a certain point it's like, dude, you got to figure out this is a girl.
Oh yeah.
How have you not put two and two together?
He dumb.
Well, one of the things about like the animated movie that works well is that you don't need to buy that they don't notice that she's a girl until the reveal is important. And you don't need that in an animated film. You can suspend the disbelief in an animated film far easier than you could in a live action film.
Right.
At a point, you get to a point where you're like, okay, come on.
And in the animated one, Li Shang is always like, he regards her as a friend when he's talking to Mulan and thinks she's the boy soldier. He regards her as a close brotherly friend. But in this, when Chen is being close to Mulan, it's intimate.
Yeah.
Even though he thinks that it's a boy. And it's like, okay, so he's homosexual.
It almost would have been funny.
She's the girl would kind of break his world, right?
Yeah.
But they don't go for that either. It's just in a nebulous of
Again,
not clear.
If Disney could have done something cool here, and then this, of course, they don't do it. Yeah, that would have been cool. Yeah.
Disney's gonna Disney.
Disney's gonna Disney.
Is that from Lindsay Ellis's video?
Maybe.
Is it?
Sounds very
It might.
Well, I mean, I don't know how much more I have to say about this one.
I just the trailers, even though I wasn't like the biggest fan of that first trailer, the second one won me over more. I really thought this might have been actually a different take, but it really just felt again like an Aladdin, which is not bad, but it's just not like, guys, the opportunity was there to make something really amazing.
But that's the problem with these live action remakes. Like, they have the potential to do something really amazing, and they always stop just short.
They're always kind of safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I like Pete's Dragon so much. Is Pete's Dragon, it isn't beholden to its original source material. They can do something so completely different that they made something new, and they made something different, and they made something good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did like all the extras being like real people for all the army scenes. That
they
really
spent
does.
Money.
You feel like those battles are real. When it has the big clash at the mountain pass, it feels very visceral, very true.
Yo, that avalanche was great.
Yeah, it is.
The choreography is great, and giving it that extra weight of real people. I like CGI battles as much as the next person, but having that weight of real people gives it that extra texture that I appreciated.
And what I was going to say is that it's when the witch interferes in the mountain pass that ruins it for me, because she shows up as mostly CGI with the falcon bit, and I'm like, everything is real, and I'm in the moment, and you are pulling me out of it.
Yes, I will say there is one really nice long tracking shot of the eagle, hawk eagle, whatever she is.
Yeah.
It's like a 2-minute shot of her just like weaving and like biting people, and it's like going from place to place, getting all the way back to Khan or whatever his name is. That's a really impressive shot. Almost entirely unnecessary for the movie, maybe, but it's a nice shot at least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to say with unlike the other live action remakes like Lion King and Beauty and the
Better than
Beast.
Lion King.
Oh no! I was gonna say with Mulan, I didn't necessarily felt the padding as much as I did those other films.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because this is a 2 hour and some change movie where the animated one's an hour and a half. Whereas like Lion King, I felt the padding. I hated it. In Mulan, the padding was the fight scenes, and I was entertained by those fight scenes. I was fine watching. I was like, yeah, give me more of this, please. Whereas the other films, I'm like, you don't have to do all this. Why?
I agree with you overall, except for the padding related to the witch, because I have no idea what her motivation ultimately was.
Yeah.
She's just
power.
She's just kind of a Power Rangers bad guy.
I want power.
But the film is really colorful, and I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
The color palette is really great in this one.
Mulan's parents are great. I meant to talk about Mulan's parents. Her parents are great. The whole opening with her family is really good.
Yeah, her dad specifically like almost steals the show. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I did want to say that I'm in the camp. I like Beauty and the Beast. I don't feel like it's overly padded. unlike Lion King, which I do. But I think that this film, it doesn't pad as much as those two movies. It doesn't become a 2.5 hour film from an hour and a half. It only really becomes a 2 hour film. So I appreciated that they showed restraint in that sense.
Mm-hmm.
I do think them showing Agrabah on a map is a cool little thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not obviously it's not a real, like they're not doing a cinematic universe, but it's just a cute little.
I didn't look closely enough, but if Ben's right that Beast Castle is there, I think that's too much.
I didn't see that. I guess I just wasn't paying attention.
It's one of those blink and you miss it. I was just for some reason my eye was just on there, but seeing the Agrabah Castle, it kind of makes sense because if you do go west of China, what are you gonna hit? You're eventually gonna hit the deserts of Arabia. You're eventually gonna hit.
The difference is that Mulan is based on a true folklore.
Yeah.
Possibly history. We don't know.
Yeah.
Whereas Agrabah is completely made up.
Yeah. But of course, it would be a nice little Easter egg just to toss in there. It's like, hey, here's Agrabah, but doesn't mean anything.
Did Mulan have an animated TV series like Hercules and Aladdin?
No. Mulan did not.
I would have liked to have seen one.
Little Mermaid did, Tarzan did,
Emperor's
and
New
Aladdin did.
Groove.
I don't know that
Emperor's New
Mulan
Groove.
series would have been good. I don't know what it would have been about.
Would it have been young Mulan or post Mulan?
Probably post Mulan.
Well, we saw that in Mulan 2, and it was all right.
I didn't see it. Oops.
I only saw it once.
Huh.
And the whole time
the only Disney sequel worth watching is Lion King 2.
That's not true.
That is not true. I feel so bad saying that. Aladdin 3, King of Thieves.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. I also heard Cinderella 3, Twisted Time was really good.
I still keep hearing that Cinderella 3 is fantastic.
It's on Disney Plus. I've been meaning to watch that damn thing, but I've never had.
You know the plot of Cinderella 3? It totally follows one of the stepsisters, gets the fairy godmother to send her back in time, and she alters the history of events to make her the Cinderella, and then apparently learns a moral lesson.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Time travel?
Yeah, like
Cinderella?
she gets the wand, and she somehow goes back in time, gets the wand, and changes everything.
I might watch this movie.
Apparently it's good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like even Lindsay Ellis says, I think that she likes Cinderella.
All right.
I hope that Aladdin TV series ends up on Disney Plus soon. I'd like to rewatch that.
Me too.
I think real quick, I think the only Disney sequel prequel show that I watched was the Hercules one, where he's a teen Hercules.
The one that makes no continuity sense.
It
with its
ruins
movie at all.
continuity.
Yeah.
It does. It totally does.
And it crossed over with Aladdin.
Yeah,
They did, yeah.
Yeah,
Wow.
I like those old shows.
Yeah.
Atlantis was supposed to get one, and then it became the movie, and it's awful. The second movie.
Yep,
Oh.
that's true.
All right, shall we rate it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Ben, what would you rate it?
I would give it a solid 7.5.
Yeah.
The fight scenes, they're very entertaining. It's beautifully well choreographed, but it's a safe Disney. It's a safe Disney live action remake. It's not just like the other ones. There are definitely things in this one that are 10 times better than Lion King, but I did get some Beauty and the Beast vibes. I did get a few Aladdin vibes, and I was like, I could just go home and watch the original one, the one I grew up and loved, and that everyone apparently, from what no one else has seen it, but what I feel like when other people do see this is like the animated version was better. So, I mean, it's still good. Don't get me wrong, it's still good, definitely worth your time, but it's a solid 7.5.
I would agree with the rating. I would also give it a 7.5. However, I think this gives me more to chew on that's different than the animated film. Then I would look at it as a worthy companion.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, 7.5 for me as well. Ryan?
I 100% agree. 7.5. Like, I really, really wanted this movie I really wanted Disney to do something different. And unfortunately, for the most part, we didn't get that. That being said, this is still a quality movie. Like, there's still people who made this movie had a lot of fun. And, like, the choreography is great. The cat is adorable. What's up, Oreo? I'll give it a 7.5. If you're interested in Mulan, definitely check it out. What does Oreo have to say about it?
Oreo, did you like Mulan?
Strong silent type. All right.
Yeah, I think I'll stick with you guys at a 7.5. I kind of want to give it more because I feel like there were a lot of people like doing good work trying to deliver strong performances. I just don't think the script boosts them enough.
Yeah.
I definitely think there's a lot of weird beats that didn't need to be there. I definitely didn't get on board with the witch, which sucks. So I know that I was pretty anti it going in, but I tried. I really tried to be open-minded about it. I don't think it was necessary. I don't think it was executed well.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right. Should we get into our book club then?
Yeah, let's do it.